So tonight we're going to talk about PEMDAS. We said that we were going to do that next, order of operations. Now, the key to the whole thing is the word order, okay? So when you count, you don't go 2, 5, 3, 7, 14. You don't count like that, do you? You go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on up. When you say the alphabet, you don't go X, Z, J, L, M. No, you start with A, B, C, D, and you go all the way down the line. This is how you do PEMDAS, order of operations. You do it in order. Now, PEMDAS tells you the order. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Tells you the order of operations. The P stands for parentheses, which are the little rounded brackets. The excuse stands for exponents, which is when you have a number and a tiny little baby number up in the air. My dear. Now these go together because you don't always have to do multiplication first. You do whichever one comes first, left to right. So that's the only tricky part. And then Aunt Sally, same situation with plus and minus. There may be a situation where you're going to do subtraction first before the addition because you do whichever comes first, left to right. Okay? So, we have a problem here that has almost, I think it has all of these on here. So, this is a good example for us to use. Now, when I think about my order, please, I'm going to look at my problem and I'm going to say, are there any parentheses? And I'm going to look and I see 2 sets of parentheses. Now, it doesn't matter really which one you do first. I like to stay in the thought process of left to right. So I'm going to start here with 15 divided by 3. Now, because I know my times tables, I know that 5 times 3 is 15. So I know that this answer is 5. 6 times 3, because I know my times tables, I know that 6 times 3 is 18. Now, what I want to do right here is I want to be very mindful of what I'm doing. I'm not being messy. I don't have stuff written all over the place. I am being very careful to put everything underneath each other because now what we have to do is bring the rest of the problem straight down, okay? We're going to bring this 4 down. And in that case, we're going to bring the parentheses down. We'll talk about what that means in a second. We're going to bring this plus sign down. We've worked with that. We're going to bring this minus sign down. And we're going to bring this exponent down. Okay? Now, the tricky thing about this is you got to know what you're looking at. But we'll get to that in a minute. So, after please, which is parentheses, our next word is excuse, which is exponents. Exponents are the tiny little number up in the air, okay? This does not mean 2 times this 2, okay? Now, when we work it out, you're going to say, that's not what you just said. But yeah, I'm just bear with me. This little 2 tells you how many times to multiply the big number by itself. So this is telling me I want to multiply this 2 by itself 2 times. So down here, I'm going to do 2 times 2, and that's going to be equal to 4, okay? So I'm going to put my 4 here, because I did my exponents next. Now, I again like to keep things very neat, so I am going to keep just bringing everything straight down. I know a lot of y'all like to do a lot of the math in your head, but with PEMDAS, when the problems get a little longer, you might lose steps if you try to do them in your head. So I suggest you just write them all down. It takes 1 second of your life to do. Now, this is where you have to know what you're looking at. Okay, you've got a 4 with a 5 in parentheses with nothing between it. You've got a plus and you've got a minus. Now, when you see a number or 2 numbers side by side like this, a regular number and then one single number in a parenthesis, that is telling you that we are actually going to multiply. Okay? So 4 up next to that 5 in parentheses means multiply. So that we have multiply, plus, and subtract. And we know up here, multiply comes before add and subtract. So that's what I'm going to do next. So 4 times 5, because I know my times tables, or I could 5, 10, 15, 20. I'm going to bring everything now straight down. Okay? So now I have got a plus and I've got a minus. Now, this one actually is not the best example. I would wish it had been reversed. But if this had been a subtraction sign and this had been an addition sign, you would do this one first because left to right. Okay? So they're equal to each other. You just do the one that comes left to right. And when I look at this problem, the addition one comes first, left to right. So over to the side, I'm going to add 20 plus 18, and I'm going to get 38. And then I'm going to bring the rest of my problem straight down. If I miss a step, the whole problem's wrong. So that's why I'm very mindful to do this very neatly. And then my last step is 38 take away 4. 8 take away 4 is 4, and 3. So my answer is going to be 34. Now, what I like about the PEMDAS is if you're really neat about it, this one didn't really work out that way, but if you're really neat about the way you do your problems, you kind of end up with this shape here. At the beginning, your problem is very long, and as you do each step, you are making it more and more narrow, so it funnels down to your answer. And so that's why I like to do it this way. It's very neat. I can see my steps. I can see the ones I've already done. That's why you saw me underlining them, because that's my mind saying this is the step I'm doing first. This is the one I'm doing next. And I can keep up with what I'm doing. So that's the order of operations. Remember, you have to do them in order. Don't just start over here and start working math, okay? Do them in order as they come with Please Excuse My Dear Aunt Sally. All right, that was fun. I love PEMDAS. The next video we do might be fractions. All right, see you later.